Hello, everyone, from where you're watching us from. This is Brother Benson, and I have my co-host Marco Bura. We want just to have a recap of what has taken place for a period of 2 or 3 weeks ago. We've been having the Reject Finance Bill and the Gen Z revolution that is taking place in our country, and so many conversations have come to an extent where president has called for dialogue. So today we just want also to have at least give our thought on the dialogue issue, whether it can work. And before we go, let me just give an opportunity to my co-host, Mark Kobura. How are you doing, sir?
Yes, good evening to our viewers and everyone watching. Uh, I'm taking this opportunity to welcome you all.
Mm.
We'll be having this conversation. Thank you.
Sema baba, Nairobi kuko vipi baba?
Nairobi kuko sawa.
Ehe.
Wana Gen Z wanapambana na hali. They're trying to
Yeah.
ensure
Okay.
they
Ah,
put the government on toes.
Okay, hiyo mzuri sana. Leo tunataka tuzungumzie mambo machache tu, kwa labda sisi pia tutoe maoni yetu uh, tu, 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 kwa, tu, tu, tusema watazamaji wetu pia wakuje wasikie tunasema nini. Kiswahili sasa inakuwa ni tata kidogo. Unajua Kiswahili ni si kwa Kijaluo, huko Ujaluoni tunasema si lugha chetu, unajua hivyo.
Hapana, mimi ni mweledi wa lugha.
Ehe.
Nina imani na amani ya kwamba naweza nikaizungumza kwa ufasaha na ufanisi.
Okay, thank you so much, Bakobura. We are still celebrating our heroes, the Gen Z that lost their life fighting for the democratic space in our country. We're still celebrating them. And Makobura, I hope and I believe yesterday you had a chance to watch and to listen to the roundtable interview that was done by Joe Ageyo, Linus Kaikai, and Eric Latif. What is your take in general on how the interview was, and how the president really tried to answer questions?
My observation was, of course, to the president, it wasn't an easy conversation because the three journalists were highly, they knew and they had nice questions which they were asking on behalf of the people. And that was a clear information. That was clear that from the questions they were asking, it was clear that they were truly representing the voice of the people, and that the concerns of the people were well channeled through them to the president. I think it was a nice thing, and the journalists were well organized. To the president, he wasn't really very much composed.
Yes.
And from the answers he was giving, it was clear that he was doing everything out of pressure. And even from the answers he was giving, he was just giving them based on the questions that he was asked. But truly,
yes,
the answers or the questions he was answering,
yes,
he wasn't really honest. He wasn't really speaking from the heart. Deep down, you see from his reaction that chini ya maji tu alikuwa anasema hawa wameniweka huku, lakini with the time nitawafenya.
Okay, yeah. Okay, if you listen very carefully at the introduction part of the interview, Joe Ageyo said it was an invitation by the president. Actually, they did not ask for that interview. I think the president asked for that interview. So does it mean that the president himself was not prepared for the interview, or he wanted to get the interview so that to clear the air of what is happening, or what was, maybe if you can just guess what might be going in his mind?
I think first he wanted to justify his actions and the
Yeah.
reason why he came up with the finance bill. Secondly, I think there was pressure from the outside supporters of countries which are supporting the Republic of Kenya,
Yes.
and also he felt the pressure from the people. So out of that, he acted as per the interest of the people. It was a nice thing trying to have an interview to listen to to hear what the people are saying. But from it all, he
Yes.
wasn't really composed. He did it out of some pressure.
Okay. I just want to pick few scenarios before we go to our main discussion, especially about the dialogue. Especially when it come where he was comparing the amount, the quoting the amount of property that is lost during the demonstration, and comparing it to the life of the innocent Kenyans who lost their life. What can you say about that? Oh,
I
Marco
think
Buda.
as a president,
Yes.
he would have taken the first lead by first acknowledging that lives were lost during this demonstration.
Yes.
And for that reason, he would have taken this opportunity to say sorry or to condole with the families who lost their beloved ones. Again, he would have dwelt on trying to console the Gen Zs who are still very much not happy with him. Uh, it wasn't right for him
Yes.
to use these kind of statements like criminals, because these are things which are still bringing or which they're not being received by the youths lightly. I think he would have used some nice words, because saying that all those who demonstrated or those who were killed were criminals, that is wrong, because it was even confirmed by so many people that among the people who died, some of them were minors, some of them, like there's this one called Masai, it's being said that it was from work.
Yes.
So he would have taken this opportunity to sanitize himself or to try convince the people that he was truly sorry. But the problem we are seeing in him is that he's not really accepting the fact that people went for demonstration and that the people who are killed were youths who
Mm-hmm.
are demanding for their rights. It took too much time trying to justify every wrong thing that was done by the police and
Yeah.
by his government, of which uh, was not good as
Okay.
per the reactions of the young people.
And somewhere too along the line, where actually people, majority of Kenyans are kind of like very upset, especially when he was asked about the boy, the little boy who was shot, 80-year-old boy who was shot almost 12 bullets, and he said, "Oh, the boy is alive," and does it mean that he was the relevant authorities did not give the president the right information to come with, because it was so embarrassing for him to say that the boy is alive, 12 gunshots on the chest, and then you say he's alive. It did not go well with the majority of Kenyans.
Uh, yeah, that was wrong. And I think the president, whenever he's going to address the people,
Yeah.
you should have facts, because the moment you go before the people and then you start giving false narrative or false stories,
Yeah.
the people would then start asking so many questions. Because as a leader, he has to have the facts. He's being briefed every day by NIS.
Yeah.
And so the best thing he would have done, if maybe he didn't have the facts, he would have said that he's not having the full information,
Yes.
and he would have left that for the police to give that kind of explanation. But him trying to defend
Mhm.
such a thing before the people wasn't a good thing.
Okay,
And
thank
again, remember the child the child died, and so him saying that he was alive or on a live uh, interview, even to the parents or the people who saw the boy or
Mhm.
the people who heard the news, people are not really happy with this answer.
Do you think the interview has really made the president to lose more trust with the public or to gain a little trust? Based on, because like the trust issue also was asked by I think it was Linus Kaikai, and the way he answered it, do you think has made all the entire thing, when you look at it in totality, the interview on how he interacted, has it made the president to gain more trust or to even lose more trust with the people of Kenya, or to lose the touch with the people?
It is, it's right to say, I think it is right to say that the president has a base, support base,
Yes.
of which there are some diehard supporters that he has, of which uh, whichever language he used, they would still support him. Whichever uh, uh, languages or whatever explanation he gave to
Mhm.
them, they're okay and they're saying he's right and he did well. But to any serious citizen of the Republic of Kenya or any serious human being
Yes.
who knows and understands how things are really operating in this environment, especially in Kenya,
Mhm.
anyone would say that the president wasn't really composed. He
Mhm.
didn't have facts. He didn't look like a father of the nation. He didn't use the right word to console a grieving country. He
Mhm.
didn't use the right word to address the youths who are the majority.
Yes.
Uh, yeah, that is my take. So, as a president, to me, from my observation,
Yes.
his choice of word, his way of addressing the issues wasn't really a good one,
Mhm.
and he's also mastery of the happenings, the things which are happening in the country wasn't a good one
Okay.
because he's someone who is being briefed every day when he's trying to defend the police who have killed people. You remember the constitution is very clear. The constitution says at to which point or to what time people should be killed.
Yes.
When there's threat to life of the police officer or the people, the public, I mean the citizens,
The
of which
citizens.
in that case, that wasn't really the truth. The people were just demonstrating, and out of that hunger,
Mhm.
uh, some of them decided to start vandalizing or getting into shops, of which that is normal. In every country or in every demonstration, you always find rowdy people. But the
Yeah.
right thing you would have done as a police is to arrest these people, take them before the court of law, and then afterwards, if found guilty, of course, the
Yeah.
constitution is clear, they would be jailed or given penalties depending on the crimes that they would have committed. But killing people, especially young people, that wasn't the right thing.
Yes.
And again, the issue of abduction was also they also talked about, of which he was trying to defend the police. Uh, this issue of police officers putting on civilian clothes and arresting or getting in the midst of the people,
Mhm.
uh, it isn't a good thing. And I think we should condemn this as a country because whenever police officers start mixing with the private with the citizens,
Yes.
it becomes even a threat, and people would then get to a point where uh, they'll never want to interact with these police officers because when you're demonstrating, expressing your anger to the government, of which
Yes.
we as a citizen we have that right, and then someone comes in holding guns, but they're in civilians. That, to me, or even to the republic, it is not how things should be done.
Okay. Thank you.
Most most of the people who are actually killed, In that
Mhm.
demonstration were killed by officers who are wearing civilian clothes.
Okay. Actually, if you go to social media, you will see um, majority of Kenyan citizens have identified police officers, and his pictures are going around the social media, for shooting the civilians. Now, Makubura, let's put the interview for the president apart somewhere. We will discuss about it because this is a conversation that will be going on each and every time, anytime. It's a very, 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 it's a conversation that will be there for the longest time. There is this issue of mostly the clergy. We talked about it the other day, and again it repeated itself. And if you're very keen, especially during the 2021-2022 general election, it was through churches that the political class, especially few of the politicians, used to campaign in the churches, and it was a way of bringing masses together so that you can come and say or do your politics on the pulpit. And we are seeing a tendency of, when we have a crisis, the churches, some clergy would go and, they want people to have conversation. Yet some of them has made the country to be where the country is right now. What is your take on such uh, deeds?
Uh, my opinion, and even the opinion of most youths of the people of Kenya, they're saying we are at this point, the problems that we are having as a country, the bad leadership that we are having as a country, including the leadership of one William Samoei Ruto, uh, we are here because of the clergy or the religious leaders. Remember, these are the people. William Ruto, when he was campaigning, when he was the deputy president, he used the church,
Yeah.
he used the clergymen, he used the religious leaders, and that is where he got a good number of votes. And I think he's also managed to bribe most of religious leaders. And for that reason, these religious leaders, they have forgotten their role, their call to serve God or to lead the people of God.
Mhm.
Now they are just in a, they're just, the main thing that they're doing is trying to impress politicians as they invite them for a rampage.
Mhm.
And again, we've also noticed that the moment this demonstration started, the first people who were called in the state house were the religious leaders. Then that then gets us to this question where we ask ourselves: did
Yes.
the religious leaders went for mandamano demonstrations? Why is it that whenever we have a problem, the first people that he calls are the religious leaders? It is right, and as a religious community or country, we should always engage the people who are leading us to God. Yes, but was it right? The narrative that the people of Kenya has, or the mentality that we have as a people, is that the religious leaders have messed the country. They've been used by the political leaders, uh, whereby politicians they go bribe them. They get into their churches. They use pulpit to campaign. You'll find that politicians, some of them get into corrupt dealings. They use this money, they take it to churches to sanitize themselves. So the people of Kenya, especially the youth, are not really happy with the religious leaders, and Ruto should know that because the religious leaders have misled the country. They have made us actually their contribution of the problems that we have as a country,
Yeah.
and that is one thing that as a country, if we don't really look into it,
Mhm.
it is going to mess us.
Okay, thank you so much. If you're watching us for the very first time in this channel, you can join by subscription, and you can share and like our show. And you spoke about the religious leader. One area whereby I really felt offended was, when the happenings, the killings, and the maandamano happened, I thought it wise that on that Sunday or the day that they were going to visit president, yeah, or if they were invited by the president, I think they could have visited first of all the victims' family and condole with them. It could have given them a a a, a, um, a good name as a good caring people who worship, because like we believe that the only place whereby you can find restoration, or the only place where you feel you can go and share what is bothering you, or calm you, is the church and the leaders of the church. These are the people. These are the majority of people who could pray for us. And you say like, I need some prayer. Comfort usually come during tough times. If you come and offer comfort, give them those hugs. But what surprised me that day is they did not look for this. They did not look for family victims. Even go to the mortuary, go to the hospital, pray for those who are wounded, those warriors and soldiers that were wounded in the hospital. They could have gone there. Then, if they now are invited to the state house, they can go with the real picture of what they're going to talk about. So to me, I feel some religious leaders have let us down in our society, especially when it comes to political processes. They've become sellout because some of them do not even call out what has happened. You know, yeah. Remember, somebody will come, a politician will come and give you a car of a Prado, because we've seen them being given Prados. You don't even ask what is the source of this money. What is the source. It is not bad to give. Giving is okay. But like, if you are giving from what you don't know the source, or you're taking, I mean, like, you're taking something that you don't know where the source has come from, especially from politicians, you know and maybe even the kind of money they are earning. So I think it is high time our church came back to senses, and they start to lead us in the right way, to
Yes.
be like the moral um, guide. They should not be, we can call them the moral decadence, the moral decadence of the society right now, because they're not doing the lordship work that they're supposed to be doing. Yeah, it's politics, and it's where it's quite sad. I don't know what you can add on that.
Yeah, I also, from my understanding, I know the role of religious leaders. They're supposed to do a spiritual nourishment, which includes
Yeah.
consoling the bereaved
Mm.
and giving them hope. Hope in
Yeah.
the sense that whenever people are losing hope, like the youth of the Republic of Kenya are losing hope,
Yeah.
they should give them hope in a sense that they represent the voice of the youth, and that
Mm.
is what used to be. Remember, sometimes back, I gave you some examples. Sometimes back, the likes of the Archbishop, the late Mwana.
Ndingi Mwana
Mwana,
Nzeki. Is it called Ndingi?
yes, yeah, and the likes of the retired Archbishop of Kisumu, Zakius Okoth,
We
and many others.
we have
They
Reverend
took,
Timothy Njoya.
yeah, they took a role of representing the people, as much as by those days the government in power never wanted leaders to speak, or religious leaders to speak on behalf of the people.
People.
But these are among religious leaders who stood by the rights of the people, stood by the people in the census, in the sense that they were representing the voice of the people, telling the leadership, the political class in their eye that this is wrong, this is what the people are saying. But
Mhm.
now it's a vice versa. You'll find that so many people are killed. Instead of these religious leaders going to console the bereaved, they took time to go and console billionaires and MPs who ran from the parliament. Now, to them, the most important thing that they were doing is consoling the MPs who ran. Just because they ran from the crowd, to
Yeah.
them that was something that was a big thing that the MPs needed consolation from. I saw
Liverpool,
most of them also. I
thank
saw
you.
most of them also go to the home of Molo MP, the one who was leading the chairman, the yeah,
Of the
Mr.
budget.
Kibaki, budget committee. Yeah. And then we ask ourselves, it is not wrong to go consult such kind of people, but these are
Yes.
the people who went on ground and understood, and people told them, we don't want this, and he was responsible. What was wrong if you've been told by the people, this is our money, kindly do the right thing, and you don't want to do the right thing, and then these people comes to your home and to remind you that this was what we wanted and you did the opposite. If you go to the home of these MPs, most of them have very big bungalows, like that one of Molo MP. You see, did you see the kind of house that that guy had? He's a member of parliament, and I don't know, 2,000 or 20,000 chickens were stolen. And to me, as a citizen, they are entitled to have everything of that magnitude.
Yep.
But now, I think it's right time that we start this kind of conversation of reducing the amount of allowance or salary that these people earn,
Okay.
because the guy is 32 years, but if you see the kind of wealth that he owns,
Mhm.
you will ask yourself, where did the rain started beating us? Keenly, if you look at this wealth, you'll find that these are wealth which have been gotten from corrupt dealings,
Yes.
from things which are not really clear.
Uh-huh.
So as a people, as a nation, as a youth, and that is one thing I'm so happy, because the youth of the Republic of Kenya are saying that the amount of money that these members of parliament are earning is too much. It has to be reduced. Actually, it should not even be reduced to half, because if you say half, I'm quite sure they're earning plus the allowances, it goes up to one point something, 1.8 or something.
Uh-huh.
So if you say half, that would mean that they would still earn something like 900, 800. That is
Hit and
still much,
much.
because someone who has not gone to school and is just representing the people,
Uh-huh.
as a representative of the people, as much as you shouldn't be earning, seriously, someone left school in class 7 and they're earning 1.8 million every month, and they're the closest people, and still they're still getting into corrupt dealings. Every Sunday they go with 1 or 2 million cash to these churches. We are concerned as a youth. We've started the journey and we're
Yeah.
headed.
Okay. I think one something that should happen even to our to churches. We are not condemning the churches, but I think they should change the way they do their things. Let it not be a place whereby one politics takes place the center stage instead of um, word of God, and let it not be a place whereby the community or a place for um, getting a platform, because like we know at some point, especially like our mothers in the village, they like going to church because they know what God has done for them, taking care of them. They are very strong believers as compared to maybe some of us. Our mothers believe so much in it. So I think the clergymen, and something that also really happened when they went there, I don't think whether the sheikh and the Muslim community were not there. I did not see any. Were they there?
Not really. I haven't seen a representative from the
Oh, sorry, Makobura, we lost you. I think there must be a problem.
sorry, I'm saying,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm saying we haven't really seen a representative from other
Religion.
religious communities. Yeah.
Yeah.
The ones that we've seen so far are the Christians, and I don't know why they're messing the Christianity, the most respected religious group.
Hmm.
We are seeing few individuals who have been given the mandate to spearhead the Christianity and the growth of Christianity. They are messing it up.
Hmm.
And yeah, the youth are saying they shall be greeted, watasalimiwa at the right time.
When the right time comes. Okay, thank you very much. Now, let's come to the conversation and the dialogue. You know, our country is a country of dialogue whenever crisis comes. You know, always we have to form a committee to look into what happened. Then after that, the report and everything is put in the shelf and people forget about it. One thing that I've always insisted of, my brother, I don't know whether you will agree with me, the dialogue that we usually have has always it's like a suppression of the justice of so many people, you know, and that is something that I believe in. And the people who usually uh, benefit from the dialogue are the political players. And this is, I can give you history in 207, 208, when there was a dialogue that bring in the bigger government with the late President Mwai Kibaki and the Prime Minister, uh, Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. We had Uhuru Kenyatta was a deputy prime minister. Musalia Mudavadi was a deputy prime minister, right? And if you look from there, what happened? The victim themselves, the victim, some of them have never been compensated until today. Then that one ended like that. There are so many, but we can point out the NADCO report. Yeah, when you look at the NADCO report, the youths who participated, who were on the forefront, they were not featured anywhere. There was nothing to talk about them.
I think
Some,
we should start from the BBI.
yeah,
Reason why the handshake of 2018 came,
yeah,
the reason why we got there, it was because of the uh, 2017 disputed election,
yes,
and it led to death. So many people died
yes,
in 2017 after the election. And that led to the BBI, the handshake that we saw between the former president, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and the former prime minister, His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga.
yes,
The reason why they shake hands, they did it because people were dying, people were demonstrating everywhere. And so to do away with the deaths and the demonstration, they shook hands. And out of that, the reason why they shook hand was one, because they wanted electoral justice. Number two, they wanted the youth still had their cry by then. They were saying they are not really being represented, and they are the people who are fighting for that justice. They're the people who are on the roads, on the street fighting, and most of them were killed.
yes,
When the two senior politicians shook hand, the people who died were never compensated up to date.
true.
Uh, when we came to 2022, again after the election, the people who went to street to demonstrate were youths. So many of them were killed, and then that led to a negotiation. Out of that, we started the NADCO report, of which not even one youth was invited to have the discussion and also to represent the 70% of the youth of the Republic of Kenya.
Uh-huh.
And then most people who died were also youths. And then now we ask ourselves, does it mean that the youths are the people who are being used uh, by some politicians so that they can achieve their political agenda? After using them, after these youths dying, they then don't care. They don't even follow up to see whether they were compensated. They don't follow up to see how even their families are doing. And to this, I think is the opposition have never done justice, especially to their followers. This is my thinking, because if you find that most people who have been dying, especially the youths, whether most of them have been in the opposition side, and it is a role of opposition leaders to always follow up to ensure that these youths are compensated.
Yes.
But most of time, whenever they get into these conversations with the people in power, they tend to forget that there's a good number of youths who died, and that is the reason why they even got to a point where they are now having conversation or agreement with the ruling, with the people in power. So I think youths are being misused in the Republic of Kenya, and the good thing is that they've seen
Mm-hmm.
they are being misused, and so they're taking their space. And one thing that I also applaud the youth is coming out to demonstrate and to reject this finance bill was a good thing.
Yes.
As much as Ruto was trying to defend himself and his government of how the big consequences, the negative consequences we will face, there's no problem. As we just wanted to remind the president and the ruling government that they should not waste the republic money, that they should be living a life,
Mm-hmm.
a leadership life. They should remain. They should always listen to the people, because out of people's wishes, they're in power. So they should not take that advantage of trying to misuse them because they've been given power to act on behalf of the people. Remember, as a leader, whenever they want to get into any deal or make any decision, the constitution says that they should consult the people. But in a situation where people are not being consulted, they are
Mm-hmm.
making decisions out of the wishes of their masters. This then becomes contrary to what the constitution says. And I remember they were now saying that a representative from the Gen Z or the millennium or the youth should be elected, and that representative, together with the other representative of different sectors or societies, should
Mm-hmm.
be invited so that they have a conversation on how to change the things that people are disputing. But
Okay.
to me,
Yes.
I want to clearly say here that the youths or the Gen Zs or the millennium, they have no leader. Up to where we are, we have no leader.
Mm-hmm.
We are a tribeless community. We are partyless. And what we are advocating for is very clear. Corruption must end. Political sanity must come. Wastage should end. Leadership must be seen in anyone who applied to be elected as our leader or a member of parliament or whichever position. The luxurious life that they're living
Mm-hmm.
at the expense of the poor people must stop. And that is the stand of the youth. And that is why we're also saying as the youth that if the president wants to address us, let him come to what? To X or to space. This is where we are. We have no leader, and we are not going to elect anybody to represent us in any talk. Let him come, and any youth who has anything to tell the president, and it is going to be messy. And that day, I saw him proposing that we do it on Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, we actually said that he gave those two options,
But
Thursday, Thursday and Friday. And you
as
know,
Mhm.
let me just cut you off. The reason why I'm saying the dialogue that we've always had, especially after incidents of not maybe, but after incident like electoral uh, violence immediately after election, I insisted here that it always suppresses the justice of the people, especially the justice of the victims. They usually don't get justice. And the reason why I'm saying that is because when a committee is formed to discuss the issues that are being discussed are very repetitive. There's nothing new about what we are discussing. Yeah. If it is not the issue of IBC, which is very contentious. That is usually becomes like the major issue, and the presidential, especially when it comes to presidential election, you know, and that's where the issue is. This other post, especially governor, MCA, it is usually not very sensitive like the one for presidency. Yeah, but once it happens, especially where we fail, or a section of Kenya fail, it was not done in the right way. The victory was stolen. When people go on the street to demand for accountability, when people go on the street to demonstrate for what is rightfully, they want to know exactly what happened because they voted. That is the reason why they wake up very early in the morning to go and line there for so many hours. Immediately the talks takes place, the people or the young men of the society who are usually on the forefront, they usually don't get justice. I tell you, there was a time we wanted to do a documentary about especially those who were a victim of post-election violence. When we rolled the camera, we could not do that because everybody was crying. They could not even speak. Then it tells you that as a nation, they've not gotten their justice. It is still paining 10 years. The people are still living in pain. But once we come and the political class come and they have their discussion, they give these proposals, the next time you know, they've been appointed to these positions and they forget about the victims. There's some victims that we were talking with them, they've never even, the time they were visited is when they were burying their loved ones. But after that, that case was forgotten. Now, and this is now, we want something quite much different to be done on this one. And I would urge, to me, my own thinking, that before we go further, the heroes, they must be compensated. That should be the first priority. Let's not talk about their jobs. How should we compensate the heroes? And how will they get their justice? That is one of the things that should be on the table. Yeah, because at no any given time of the victim of any violence, especially the peaceful violence that we had, like the one that happened, that have gotten their justice. Like they've never. We've seen there's so many young men who are still walking in the villages with bullet wounds in them. Their families who have lost their fathers, they are fatherless. Those have lost their mothers. Those are just orphan, but they've never found justice. So for this one, I think that one could be one of the demands that should be, yeah. And we should also learn as leaders, shall not to take advantage of the situation. And I'm very, very, very much happy on how this is being handled. Like the young people have decided to go and light the candles. It's not politicization, like to politicize it, you know. So that is something that should be, yeah. And the dialogue should be, it should address, not to create position for people. It should not create position for people as the way we've always seen. NADCO report was one of the worst. I would say that 100 times. One of the worst report ever, because it was about the leaders on how to create position, yet we lost. There are people who lost. So this time round, the issue of the heroes must be addressed fully. That is what I would tell the Gen Zs. First of all, the issue of your colleagues, yeah, justice should be done, and that would be good. Maybe your take.
From what I've seen and what I know among the youths of the Republic of Kenya, so far The demonstrations are not over because we believe that the issues that we are fighting for are not yet tackled. As much as the president is coming out to address issues that he think he can address, we as a people, we still believe that the president is not truly sincere enough to get and to understand that the cries of the youth are a genuine cry, and their proposal are proposals that are making sense until the leadership that we have, the elected leadership we have in the Republic of Kenya, until they go back to their senses and see the impotence of giving an ear and also trying to solve the issues that have been presented before them, the demonstrations are not going to stop. That is the stand of the youth. And
Oh.
again,
Mhm.
from what I've been seeing, so far, we've seen that there was a collection for the family who died, for the families, for the youth who died.
Mhm.
And we are still hoping and we pray that the youth will still come together to contribute to them so
Yes.
that in one way or another they would have a good send off because they are heroes of the Republic of Kenya. Uh, if the police continues with the same behavior that they have, we could lose some people, but as a people, we are advocating and we are requesting the police not to meddle into the affairs of the youth, especially when they are doing a peaceful demonstration, because the constitution gives the people
Mm.
uh, the right to demonstrate,
True.
the right to say that they are not being represented well, the right to give their opinion. It is wrong for them to every now and then whenever people are demonstrating they start coming with tear gas, and that is what brings the confusion among the people who are demonstrating. And this is when the demonstrations always turn into something else, because remember when people are doing having a peaceful demonstration,
Yeah.
whenever there are no tear gas, people would focus and do what is right. But when they start throwing tear gas, the people will start fighting back. And the moment we start fighting back, there will be an automatic confusion. And this is the leeway that people with bad intention always
Yes.
hijack the demonstrations.
Okay.
So if the police, if they do what really the constitution says, if they don't throw tear gas or live guns to the youths or people who are demonstrating, I assure you there will never be looting, there'll never be destruction of private or public properties. But if they stop a peaceful demonstration and then
Yep.
start doing things which are not right, of
Mhm.
course, the people are hungry. And remember, when people are demonstrating, some of them come with very negative uh,
Yeah.
thinking.
Mhm.
So it is up to them to ensure that they escort. Actually, they are supposed to protect and escort demonstrators to their destination. That way, they will never see any ill, or people with ill intention will never get the opportunity to get or to activate those ill behaviors that they have.
Okay, thank you so much. And I'm still appealing to our viewers out there. If you're new in this channel, kindly please just you can join us by subscription. So when we do such like discussion, you can also join the discussion, share with us your views, what you feel we are not doing right, or if you have a contribution that you want to make, you can join us. We will be starting to have like an open debate, an open discussion about the about what is happening in our country. We will always share our link. Today we are very sorry we did not find time to share the link, but we apologize for that. Maybe tomorrow, if we have a chance of coming live, we will make sure that we share with you, so that you can also come into the studio, share your views, because it is a conversation that is going on, and is a conversation for liberation. So, Makobura, know we are almost winding up, and something also that maybe next time we should find time to talk about is the political parties. This is another area where also need sanity. Yeah, this is another area where also need sanity. We need to talk about our political parties, because our political parties are not independent, and and some of the people who are elected, you know, they go there because they are darlings to the owners of the party. Once they can bribe their way into the party, because the party are regions, we have what we call regionalism of the political parties. You know, once you get the nomination certificate, whether you are not some, I don't know the criteria they use to make you be elected or to get elected during the nomination. You know, some do not do it well. So that is something that's also we need to talk about. Another thing also we need to talk about now, what next now, because the president himself has been defeated. Remember, in the political career of President Ruto, he has never been defeated, or he has never conceded defeat. This was the first time in history that he was conceding defeat, and this was like a referendum to him. So that is also something that we could also look in that angle of how does he take the defeat, because this is the first defeat, especially in political career, ever since he started to run for political office. So for those who are watching us, thank you so much, and we will continue to come live and have a discussion with you. We're sorry we did not share the link for you to join us. Maybe Marco Bura, if you have your closing remarks.
When the president is preparing or trying to find time to come and address the youths, he should come with an open-minded. He should come with a. He should come composed. He should also come knowing that he's going to represent. A group of a community that does not like the style of leadership that they are, the kind of leadership that they are running. They do not like the kind of lifestyle that they are living. They do not like the kind of leadership skills or character that they are trying to show. So, in short, when he's coming, he should know very well, and he should expect that he's going to meet the youths. And for the first time, he will hear the things that he's never heard in his life, because the people are coming out, the youths are coming out, and they know their rights. They are aware of everything which has been happening in the Republic of Kenya. And again, as the people are going to start the demonstration, they should. The first thing they should do, it is not right to deploy the KDF. The KDF are supposed to protect us from external threat. Them trying to introduce the KDF or bring the KDF in the streets of the Republic of Kenya is a no. And even the international, any serious democratic country would oppose that. And that is even destroying his image as the president and the image of the Republic of Kenya. Kenya has so many police officers, and the role of the police officers is well articulated in the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, and even the role of the KDF. So what he should do, if there are no enough police officers, there are so many youths who are unemployed. They should be given that chance so that they come out and protect the people of Kenya in the streets. The KDF are supposed to represent us or to protect us from the external along the borders and the airs and the seas. So that is what I'm here to tell the president, but also here to remind the youth that the journey is long. They should not tire, because if we tire, we are going to lose so many things. We have to bring back the sanity in the Republic of Kenya. The issue of tribalism must end in the Republic of Kenya. The issue of corruption among political leaders must end in the Republic of Kenya. And it is only going to end when the youth of the Republic of Kenya are united and speaking in one voice, the way they've been united and speaking in one voice. Let not tribe or party or anything, color or whichever separate us. Let us remember that we're in the Republic of Kenya and the suffering or the problems that we are facing are the same, whether you're in northeastern Kenya, central, southwest, or whichever region in the Republic of Kenya. Thank you. And to our viewers, thank you for supporting us and for always being there for us. And I'll also want to remind them that as from tomorrow we'll be sharing the link so that anyone who is interested or has a point or something to say, we will give them a chance.
Okay, thank you so much. We here, we are still celebrating our heroes, and we are still also mourning their family. We pray for our good Lord to give them comfort during the difficult times they are going through. And as you said, it is a journey that is started. If you look at the history of Africa, the majority of young people, especially you look at Patrice Lumumba, at what age, if you go and Google the age of Patrice Lumumba, how he bring his liberation to his country, they were young people by then. So I think all is in the right direction. And here we are just only having a conversation about our country because Kenya is for us all. And we thank you so much for taking your time to be here with us, to watch us, and to listen to us. And we thank you so much. And we pray that our good Lord might bless you and bless our beloved country, Kenya. Thank you so much, and may God bless you.